My experience was unique, if not rare. To get straight to the point, I spent a good part of the summer when I was 12 years old living as a girl. But by the time I reached 14, I began to develop into a much more masculine figure, which made it impossible for me to ever pass as a girl again. Being a perfectionist, it was difficult to accept. These days, I occasionally wear panties and hosiery, but that's about the extent of it. It all started when my father had to spend several months in Europe for his job. My mother decided to join him, and while I could have gone with them, I didn't want to. So, I was sent to stay with my mother's half-sister for the summer. My aunt had 2 daughters, one was 14 and the other 19 at the time. After I had been there for a couple of days, my cousin Lily and I found ourselves alone at the house. It was a dull day, and we were just passing the time. She asked if she could brush my hair, and I didn't mind. My hair was long for a boy, black and straight, a bit like a pageboy cut. Lily kept telling me how beautiful my hair was, saying any girl would be lucky to have it. She then went to get a leather barrette with a stick that holds it in place, gathered my hair into a ponytail, and combed my bangs forward. I didn't really resist. There was something about the attention I enjoyed, especially since it was just the 2 of us. "You'd make such a pretty girl," she told me. I was small for my age due to a bout with rheumatic fever, so I looked younger than most boys my age. "Let me put a little makeup on you, just for fun," she said. I hesitated, but she persisted. "No way," I responded. "Oh, come on," she urged. "No, really," I insisted. "Well, fine, whatever." She stormed off, but I could tell she wasn't giving up. After a moment, she returned. "Okay, but just this once. And no one else can know." So, we went upstairs into her room. She sat me down in front of the mirror, with my back to it, and started applying makeup. She told me it needed a few minutes to dry. I tried to sneak a peek, but she stopped me. "Wait until I'm finished," she said. After some time, she applied eyeshadow, and I remember the difficulty she had using the eyelash curler. I wasn't the easiest to work with, but she kept going, taking her time, enjoying every step of the process. I could hear her giggling, clearly having fun with it. When she finished with blush and everything else, it was time for lipstick. There was something undeniably feminine about lipstick. The other makeup didn't seem to matter as much, but the lipstick felt different. I almost hesitated, but she wouldn't let me get away with it, and I ended up with lipstick and liner. "There," she said, "all done. You can look now." I turned around, expecting to see something ridiculous, but instead, the reflection in the mirror shocked me. I saw a girl staring back at me. It didn't seem possible, but when I moved, she moved. It was me, and I looked pretty. "You see? I told you you'd make a pretty girl," Lily said, grinning. I was too stunned to respond. "I did a good job, didn't I?" she pressed, refusing to let me off the hook until I agreed. Then she told me to take off my shirt. "I think this is going a bit too far," I said, but she insisted, and before I knew it, I was pulling my t-shirt over my head. It wasn't hard to guess what she had in mind, especially when she brought out a bra. "Stick your arms out," she ordered. I reluctantly complied. She slipped the bra over my arms, turned me around, and fastened it. My face flushed with embarrassment. If anyone ever found out, I thought, I would never live it down. But Lily didn't stop there. She grabbed some pantyhose and stuffed them into the bra cups. "There," she said, "now we need a blouse to go with that black hair." She settled on a simple pink top and pulled it over my head. She stepped back, looking pleased with her work. "See? I told you," she said, excited. "Look at yourself." I turned to face the mirror, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe the reflection that stared back at me. It was so different from what I expected. I looked at myself from different angles, still trying to process it all. I was amazed by what I saw. I couldn't take my eyes off the reflection in the mirror. Just then, I heard some noise downstairs, and panic set in. "Who's that?" I asked. "Probably just Olivia," came Lily's reply. I thought to myself, just Olivia? Like it was no big deal that I was sitting there, wearing makeup, a bra, and a blouse. "Relax," Lily said as I started to take off the blouse. "Sit down, it's just a game." I could hear footsteps coming up the stairs. It was too late to escape. I froze, paralyzed with panic, unsure of what to do. Did Olivia go to her room? No, she walked straight into Lily's room. I could feel the tension. My back was purposely turned. "Who's that?" Olivia asked. "Turn around," Lily said as she spun me around. Olivia hesitated for a moment, then looked at me, her curiosity piqued. "Wow. Keith, is that you?" "I can't believe it." "You're adorable," she said, walking around and surveying me. "A bit too much makeup, though," she added, laughing. "And those, are they fake?" "Too high." "Whose idea was this?" "Do you have a secret, Keith?" "Or should I call you Kylie?" she teased, laughing all the while. I was frozen with embarrassment. I couldn't even move. "Keep Kylie company," Lily said. "I'll be right back, and you don't move." I had no idea what she was up to. I was still processing Olivia's sudden appearance. "What's she doing?" I asked Lily. "I don't know," Lily replied, still fixing my hair with a brush. "I wish I had your hair," she added absently. Meanwhile, I kept glancing at myself in the mirror, still in disbelief over what I was seeing. Olivia returned, saying, "All right, let's finish this properly." She placed some items on the bed. "This, Kylie, is what I used when I had the same figure you have now." Olivia spoke so confidently that I didn't even consider resisting. Looking back, I don't think I truly wanted to resist, I just had to make a token attempt, as part of the game. "Take off your blouse, Kylie," she ordered. The word blouse didn't quite register for me, but I pulled it off anyway, struggling a bit. "Never mind," she said, pulling the blouse over my head. She then took the pantyhose out of my bra and picked something up from the bed. It quickly became clear what it was: chest forms. I didn't know what they were called at the time, but I understood their purpose. She placed one on each side, adjusting the straps so they looked more natural. The forms weren't very big, probably somewhere between an A and B cup. "Let's try this again," she said, pulling the blouse back on. All the while, Lily was orbiting around, giggling and teasing me. "Now I want you to go into the bathroom and put these on," Olivia instructed, handing me a padded girdle and a pair of nylon hip hugger panties. I just stared at them. I hadn't said a word since Olivia had come home. "Get going," Olivia said, laughing. "I haven't got all day." They ushered me into the bathroom, at least sparing me some modesty. The door closed behind me, and now I was fully involved in the process. I felt strangely cooperative, just a glance at my reflection in the mirror eliminated any remaining hesitation. "Hurry up in there, Kylie, I've got an appointment in an hour," Olivia called from the other side of the door. I dropped my pants and took off my underwear. Looking at my reflection in the full-length mirror, I was struck by the contrast: girl on top, boy on the bottom. I picked up the delicate nylon garment and stepped into it. As I pulled it up my legs, the sensation of the elastic and nylon against my skin was unforgettable. The cool fabric took my breath away. The clothes, the makeup, and even my hair didn't seem as significant as those panties. There's something about them that makes the difference between simply dressing up and fully embracing crossdressing. At a Halloween party, for instance, you can usually tell if someone's just having fun with it or if it's something they take seriously. If they're wearing panties, you know they're not just playing around. I was still staring at my reflection in the mirror, turning side to side, when I noticed a noticeable bump in the panties. Come on, hurry up, Olivia's voice came through the door. Get moving or I'm coming in there. Panicked, I quickly grabbed the padded girdle and practically jumped into it. The sensation of compression was overwhelming, each moment felt like a mind-bending rush. After pulling my jeans back on, I made my way to the door just as Olivia was coming in. She wasn't joking. Nice slacks, she sneered. You can't even see your new look through those baggy things. Get to Lily's room and take them off. But, I started to protest. Don't argue, she interrupted. I haven't got all day. We're finishing this now. Reluctantly, I pulled the jeans down, stepped out of them, and left them on the floor. See? Not bad at all, Olivia said, inspecting me. I glanced at the mirror, finally able to take it in. My new appearance, a rounded shape with the padding at my sides, was striking. The padded garment left my crotch smooth, like nothing was there at all. Lily broke her silence with a delighted coo and giggled as she pinched my rear. It was more than I needed, more humiliation. Sit down, Olivia ordered, pointing to the bench in front of the makeup table. I sat. Put your foot out, she instructed as she began rolling up a pair of pantyhose. I'm only going to show you how to do this once. It's like putting on a long pair of socks. She rolled the leg of the hose up to my knee. Now the other leg. I complied. Now stand up, she said, pulling the rest of the garment up around my waist, smoothing it out. Not bad, if I do say so myself, she bragged. Here, I suppose you can figure this out. She handed me a nylon half-slip. I stepped into it, and the smooth, silky feel of it against the pantyhose was extraordinary. She noticed my reaction. Nice, huh? You don't get that from your old jeans, she laughed. Turn around, she commanded. I did. Then she grabbed the back of the girdle and pulled it up, exposing my panties. Just checking, she said, grinning. I didn't want you to cheat, Kylie, she teased. Lily handed her a navy blue skirt, which I remember clearly. It was made of the same flat cotton material as my work pants. Olivia knelt down and held the skirt open at my feet. Come on, step in, she ordered. Once I did, she quickly slid the skirt up to my waist, zipped it up, and fastened the button at the back. Almost done, Kylie, she said, inspecting her work. I need to fix that makeup. Lily tends to go a bit heavy on it, and with your complexion, you don't need that much. She led me back to the bathroom. Olivia soaped up a washcloth and cleaned my face with it, like I was a child. Hold still, she commanded. After she finished with the washcloth, she used some makeup remover on a tissue, giving my face a couple of passes. There, now I'll do it right, she said. It didn't take long, just a little blush and a light dusting of eyeshadow. The most time-consuming part was the lipstick. She chose a red shade, a little more subdued than the bright one Lily had used earlier. Now look at yourself, she said, turning me toward the full-length mirror. It was strange looking at the reflection, not recognizing the person staring back. Especially when that person was a girl, a pretty girl, no less. Look, Lily, she's smiling. She's really getting into this. Olivia laughed. Come with me, Olivia said, grabbing me by the arm. She led me into my aunt's room and positioned me in front of a full-length triple mirror, the kind that lets you see yourself from every angle. I couldn't believe it. I was really smiling, and it made the girl in the mirror even prettier. Less than 2 hours ago, I was a boy just hanging out, and now, I was a pretty young lady. I couldn't pull myself away from the mirrors, turning and posing, ignoring the laughter and giggles behind me. It wasn't just the image, it was the way the nylon slip felt against my legs, the smoothness of the nylon panties pressed by the tightness of the girdle, the bra gently pressing against my chest, the straps on my shoulders, the pressure of the pantyhose on my legs. All of it together created a new, wonderful, unforgettable sensation. Lily, go get me a pair of clip-ons, Olivia instructed. Lily quickly returned with a silver pair of earrings and a necklace. She clipped the earrings onto my lobes just as Olivia emerged from the closet, holding a pair of shoes. "Here, try these on. They should fit, Mom has the biggest feet," Olivia said. I didn't hesitate. My earlier resistance had completely disappeared, and I was fully cooperating now. The shoes had about a 1-inch heel and were a little big, but they felt good. The sensation of my pantyhose-clad foot sliding into the shoe was another new experience. Just wiggling my toes felt different. The earrings and necklace added that final touch of femininity. "I don't think we're going to get her away from that mirror," Lily said with a laugh. "Well, I've got an appointment in less than half an hour," Olivia replied. "I'm out of here. You girls have fun. I'll be back by 3. Kylie, you're cute." With that, she left. I heard her footsteps down the stairs and the front door close behind her. "So, now what?" I thought, still admiring myself from all angles. "Come on, hot stuff, let's go downstairs and I'll do something with those nails," Lily beckoned. By now, I was used to following her lead. I gave myself one more look in the mirror before following her out of the room. The shoes weren't hard to walk in, but they made a lot of noise on the hardwood floor. "You walk like a guy," Lily teased. "Take smaller steps and put one foot in front of the other." I hadn't realized it before. I was too caught up in the soft, silky material against my skin. That's something most men never experience. Male clothes are just for covering up, but women's clothes, there's something about them that feels like they're a part of you. It wasn't too hard to take smaller steps, though the skirt did restrict my movement. But each step caused my nylon-clad legs to rub together, which felt surprisingly good. Downstairs, Lily had grabbed a bottle of nail polish, and we sat at the kitchen table. Without needing to say anything, I held my hand out, and she began painting my nails. As she worked, she talked. She said she was having fun and promised she wouldn't tell anyone or embarrass me. She mentioned that it reminded her of playing with Barbies when she was younger. She also mentioned how she had studied me earlier and decided I'd make a pretty girl. She said I had full lips, which many girls would envy, and that my black hair was just as enviable. "What do you think?" Lily asked as she started on my other hand. "It's hard to explain," I replied. "Girls' clothes are so different. They're smooth and silky. It's hard to put into words." "I know what you mean," Lily said. "Guys' clothes are so dull, no variety, and kind of rough." She finished my nails. "They'll be dry in a minute," she said. It was clear she was enjoying the moment. She had me get up and walk around some more to see if I had improved. I was still a bit clumsy, and Lily couldn't help but laugh. "You think that's tough? Wait until you try some real heels," she teased. Somehow, I knew that would happen eventually. We sat, chatting and laughing, when we heard a knock at the door. "Oh, it must be the UPS man," Lily said. "Hey, why don't you answer the door, and I'll watch?" I must have looked worried because she quickly reassured me, "Come on, it'll be fun." She had me on my feet and was already heading down the hall. The delivery man could see us coming through the front door glass, so I figured it was better to go along with it than risk drawing his curiosity. I opened the door. My heart raced. I was nervous, to say the least. He handed me a small package and asked me to sign for it. In my flustered state, I scribbled Keith instead of Kylie. I wasn't sure if he noticed. He smiled, tipped his hat, and left. "Did you see how he looked at you?" Lily laughed. "You think he knew?" I asked, fear creeping into my voice. "No, silly," she said, grinning. "He was checking you out. He was staring at your chest." She burst into uncontrollable laughter, which had me laughing too. We had a good laugh, and things calmed down. It was my first real test in the world to see if Lily was right, whether anyone could tell without X-ray vision. I went back to the mirror in the hall, and she was right. I didn't even recognize the girl in the reflection, and she looked completely genuine to me. We spent an hour just sitting around, talking. Lily kept teasing me about some of my male habits, especially how I couldn't sit with my legs together. It wasn't easy for me to adjust to. Lily headed upstairs. "Oh, do me a favor and check the mail," she asked. "Yeah, right," I replied sarcastically. "Stop the excuses," she said. "It's only on the porch." I gave in again. She went upstairs, and I headed for the front door. As I opened it, a rush of cool air hit me, and I could feel it on my pantyhose. It felt like stepping out into the world, fully dressed in girls' clothes. What a rush! The mailbox was just a few feet away, and as I reached it, I heard the door click behind me. No mail. I turned to go back inside, but as I grabbed the door handle, panic hit, I was locked out. I shook the handle, but it didn't budge. In my panic, I rang the doorbell. I could hear it inside, but no one answered. I stood there, waiting, ringing the bell a few more times. A couple of kids passed by, giving me strange looks. I was too flustered to focus on anything else. Still no Lily. It felt like forever. After a while, I finally managed to calm myself down. A thought came to me, why not try the back door? That meant walking around the fence, out to the sidewalk, but Lily wasn't answering. I checked both directions down the sidewalk to make sure no one was around. The coast was clear. I decided to go for it, trying to walk as naturally as possible to avoid suspicion. I reached the sidewalk and turned left toward the driveway. It felt like everyone could tell there was a boy walking in girls' clothes. It wasn't far to the back door, but it felt like a million miles. Of course, my luck wasn't great. Halfway down the driveway, two boys from next door appeared. One had a basketball, which he threw at their garage's backboard. The other guy looked at me and smiled. I managed a half smile in return, walking as fast as I could without breaking into a run, my heels clicking against the pavement. I reached the back door, but it was locked. Great, now I had to retrace my steps. I rushed back down the driveway, aware that the boys were watching. I felt foolish for not being able to open the door, and my outfit didn't help. Where was Lily? Just as I was halfway back down the driveway, a car pulled in. It was Olivia. She looked surprised at first, but then a big grin spread across her face. She stopped the car and I walked up to it, waiting for her to get out. "Hi, Kylie, out for a little walk, I see," she teased. I gave her a nervous look, signaling that I was uncomfortable with the boys still around. "So what did she do?" "Hey, guys, have you met my cousin Kylie?" she shouted. All they could manage was a weak hi. I waved back awkwardly, mostly out of politeness. "Please, Olivia, get me inside," I begged. She turned toward the street and I followed her, explaining how I had gotten locked out. As we reached the door, it opened, and Lily was standing there, laughing uncontrollably. The little trickster knew exactly what was going on. I wanted to be mad, but her laughter was so infectious that I couldn't help but laugh too. "You should have seen yourself, Keith. You were hilarious," Lily said, still laughing. I couldn't help but laugh too, relieved to finally be back inside. But that wasn't the end of it. As if nothing strange had happened, Olivia said, "Come on, guys, we're going to Burger King." "I don't have time to cook." "You've got to be kidding," I replied. "Get going, Kylie," Olivia said, pushing me toward the door. I don't have time to argue. No one can tell the difference, and who would care if they did? Now, move it. I'm late. All this time, I was being pushed out the door. I was about to make a stand on the front porch when I saw the boys from next door coming over. I had to keep quiet. Olivia noticed I was hesitating and hurried me toward the sidewalk. We met the boys halfway to the car, and Lily stopped to chat with them. They were right between us and the car. Oh, get me out of here, I thought. One of the boys was actually checking me out and smiling. Holy shit, I thought. I couldn't believe what was happening.